Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Today's tips and tricks webinar is Project Plan Objects into Civil 3D Profiles. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping updates. Because this is a public presentation, we will have all mics muted. We do encourage you to ask questions. We have allocated time for the Q&A at the end of the webinar. If you look at your go-to control panel, you will see question box and a chat box. Enter any questions you may have during the presentation in either of these boxes. We will see them at the end of the webinar. We are ZenTek Consultants, a technology consulting firm providing innovative technology solutions to the Canadian CAD/BIM construction marketplaces. Our focus is to improve efficiencies, which in turn leads to increased productivity. I'm Steve Fahey, based in Halifax. I manage our Canadian operations. I invite you to visit our website to learn more about our company and our offerings. Also, don't forget to follow ZenTek Consultants CA on LinkedIn. This will allow you to stay up to date on all of our upcoming webinars and announcements. We offer a wide range of online Civil 3D training, live courses, private courses, custom courses, and on-demand courses. Please visit our website or contact me directly to learn more. I'm very pleased to have Cindy Davenport joining me today. Cindy has in excess of 30 years experience implementing and supporting technology in the CAD/BIM construction fields. She has co-authored 3 books on mastering Civil 3D and has been an instructor at Autodesk University. We are very happy to have Cindy and her technical expertise on our team. At this time, I will hand the presentation over to Cindy to show you Civil 3D. Let me know when you have it.
I am going to see if I can share my screen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good, okay, so let's see if I can share. Oh, I think that's it. Can you see my Civil 3D?
Yes, I can. You're good.
Okay, great. Okay, so today's topic is project plan objects into AutoCAD Civil 3D profiles. So Civil 3D has a really cool feature that allows us to project things other than surfaces and pipe networks into profile view. And some of those objects that we can project in the profile view would be Civil 3D objects, being Cocoa points, feature lines or survey figures, even bridges from InfraWorks that you import into Civil 3D. So those 3 Civil 3D objects you can project into profile view. Also, you can project some AutoCAD objects into profile view, those being AutoCAD points, AutoCAD blocks, multi-view blocks, 3D solids, and 3D polylines. Okay, so those are the things that we can project in profile view. I'm going to be showing you a few examples on how to use this feature here. So as you see, this is my drawing here. Let me skinny things up here so I can look. I got the Windows little tidy ball of death going on right there. I don't know what that's about, but ever since I upgraded my graphics driver, my computer doesn't like it. But anyway, never mind. Let's look and see what's going on with Bugsy Boulevard here. This yellow line here, this is a polyline. Okay, it represents a gas line that came in from a survey. And this, of course, is a block. Okay, and so what I want to do is, I'm going to do some utility work within this right away here. And so what I want to do is I want to get this line work into my profile view easily without having to, draw things from scratch and, try to, measure things in my profile view and multiply things by 10 because my vertical exaggeration is 10, or divide things by 10, whichever way you go with things. So, but an easy way to do this, Civil 3D has given us the ability to project this guy into profile view. Now, right now, he's just a 2D polyline. I would like him to be a 3D polygon or a 3D object, and I would like him to be at the frost line, below my surface. So that can be at a different depth for everybody. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get ready to put this guy into profile view. First of all, I'm going to turn him into a feature line. All right, so feature line from object is a great way to go. All right, so, we pick our side and all of that. My style is going to be this existing natural gas line here. And then what I'm going to do under conversion options, I'm going to assign elevations from the existing surface. I got a couple of surfaces in here. I want this one here. It's the one that I'm going to use. And so in this case, I do want to insert intermediate grade breakpoints because, at every 10 line crossing this polyline, it's going to sample its elevation from that surface. But one thing I want to do is I want to relate this to a relative elevation from my surface. So that's where I'm going to enter in the depth there. So this is going to look at my surface, but it's going to drop it negative 3.5 feet below my surface here. And the nice thing about this feature is it stays relative to the surface. So my surface updates, so does this feature line here. So all right, let's hit OK. And so what do I have here? Look, it's a feature line, all those lovely little elevation points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project it in profile view, and I'm going to do that by coming over here into this view where my profile is. I'm going to select my profile and utilize my contextual ribbon. I'm going to come up to my contextual ribbon up here, see profile view for Bugsy Boulevard. There's a button here, project objects to profile view on the launch pad. I'm going to click on that, and I get this pick box. It wants me to select the object. So I'll come back into my top view here, and I'll select my yellow polyline. I'm going to hit enter, and I get this project objects to profile view dialog box. All right, so we got a feature line here. Underneath style, what it wants is when I'm doing a feature line, it's going to utilize feature line styles. So if I wanted it to look a little bit different in plan view, then I have it looking in, or in profile view. If I want it to look a little bit different in profile view, then I have it looking in plan view. I can change the style. I can use a style to manage that. I'm going to stick with the style that it has, and then look under elevation objects or options here. What do you want to do? I want to use the objects elevation. It's a 3D feature line right now. I got the elevations from the surface. I dropped it 3.5 feet below the surface, but my options, when I project an object into profile view, I can utilize a surface. However, I can't tell it to drop a relative amount below the surface, but I can utilize a surface to get these elevations from the surface, or I can tell it to get elevations from a profile. Okay, so those are my options. All right, so I'm just going to use the object elevations here, and then I'm going to hit OK. Right, and so there it is right here. Hopefully you can see that the yellow line representing my feature line. And look, you can see where the elevation points are. They're represented by the little glyph here. And I can grab these grips and move them up or down if I needed to change any of the elevations of these points. It's dynamic with the feature line. That would be an override that I can make on the feature line elevation. All right, so back over into my plan here. There's some other things. This is, I'm making an assumption by projecting this gas line into my profile view here. I'm just assuming that it's right there below the frost line, but it's helpful if I have some test pits to verify. So if you see these blue objects here, these are my test pits, and they are actually Koga points. So you could import your test pit information into your drawing and create Koga points with them. So these are imported at the elevation where they sampled the top of the natural gas line out in the field. So I could take those guys and I can project those into profile view. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is, all my test pits, they have the same description. So I created, over in the prospector under point groups, I created a point group called test pits. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is, so I don't have to select each one by one. I'm going to select them using the point group. So right click, select, that grabs all of my test pits here. So the way I'm going to get into profile view, last time I used a contextual ribbon. This time I'm not going to use a contextual ribbon. I'm going to go through the modify tab, and then I'm going to hit profile view. And now I'm going to hit the option. So this allows me to select my objects first and then tell it to go into profile view. The way through the contextual ribbon is I would have to execute the command first and then go pick my objects one by one. So this one's a little bit more convenient. So go ahead and click on that. It says select my profile view. I'll come down here in this viewport, select profile view, and here's my project objects dialog box. All right, this is slightly different because now my label style column is active. When you project objects such as points into profile view, you can attach a label to it. You can't attach a label to a feature line through the projection dialog box. All right, so here, the style it's going to use would be the object style. Okay, so we're going to use the object style. If I wanted to change the style up, I could use a different point style, but this is using the point style that it has right now. If I did want to change all of these, I could either change them one by one on each line, or I could change them using this set all option up here. All right, so elevation options. We're going to use the object elevation. I have the same options as I did for the feature line. I could use a surfaces elevation, or I could use a profiles elevation. Okay, so for label style here, we can attach what's called a projection label to whatever we project in the profile view. Okay, so I'm going to select a label style, and this one's going to be one that I usually attach to Koga points. I'm going to hit OK here. And then I'm going to say OK again, and there it is. This is what it looks like. And you can see they're a little bit off from where I assumed that location is. Okay, so I could come in here and I can actually make some adjustments. I can like grab the grips here, and I can like maybe lift them up a little bit, you know, do that. Or I could go into like my plan, and I can say, okay, I want to add a, I could add a PI to my feature line, and I could actually O-snap to this point, and it would acquire the elevation. The feature line would acquire the elevation of this point. Then I can come in here and play with the grips and make sure that everything is kind of continuously sloping upward to the location where the test pit was sampled and away from it. But that's projecting a point object into profile view. Now we are able to also project blocks into profile view. And so I do have these little gas valves here that are blocks. So I can project them the same way that I did prior to. Now this is a little different. Now when you project blocks into profile view, you're projecting an AutoCAD object. They don't really, you know, AutoCAD doesn't have styles that they apply to things. But Civil 3D has provided us with what's called a projection style, and that's over in settings, under multi-purpose styles, under projection styles, and then I'm going to open this one up. I have created one for gas valves here. So these styles, projection styles, which are under multi-purpose styles, are for AutoCAD objects. When you project those into profile view. So if you open that up, there we go. So you just come and you visit the tab that you want to configure for. So for profile, what do I want AutoCAD points to look like? If I'm projecting AutoCAD points in profile view, what do I want them to look like? Right? Do you want it to look like a point as it's drawn? Or do you want it to look like a marker style? So we have marker styles in Civil 3D underneath our multi-purpose styles. Also, other things, AutoCAD solid. If you're going to project a solid in a profile view, what do you want it to look like? The way it's drawn as a section, or do you want to use a marker style? Okay, we've got 3D polylines. How do you want them to look? Oh, and this is kind of reminiscent of feature lines where it allows you to put markers on the vertexes. And then here's AutoCAD blocks. How do you want an AutoCAD block when you project in profile view to look? So if I use this style with an AutoCAD block, it's going to be using this block right here, which looks like this here. It doesn't look like source block boundary. It looks like the circle with a little X in it, okay? I can configure where the anchor point is going to be. And I have the option of vertically exaggerating it if I want to, according to the profile view. And then also I can project in multi-view blocks. So I just have blocks. So I'm just going to bail out of this and show you how this works with blocks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, since I have that block already selected. I'm going to actually make sure, I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to make sure I don't have other things selected too. But I'm going to select this block and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say select similar so I can get the other blocks just like it. And then I am going to come up to my option here to project to profile view. Then I'm going to click into this viewport here. I'm going to select that guy here. And so here's the project objects to profile view dialog. Okay, so under style, since this is a block, it's going to want me to select a projection style. See that? Select projection style. I'm gonna hit the drop down, select the gas file, hit OK. Then come over here. I'm gonna actually use object. There's one thing I need to check first before I do this, because this could be on elevation 0. So I just need to double check and make sure it's not on elevation 0. And I'm going to click on this block here and look at the Z value here, and it looks like it's in a good spot. So that's good. And I'm going to check the other one. I just want to make sure that my profile doesn't grow to be huge because I've accidentally left something at elevation 0. Yeah, that's got its Z value here. The way you can get it to its Z value very easily is you can just grip edit it and then do a nearest O snap and grab onto the feature line. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to select similar, and then I'll project it to the profile view, come over here, select my grid on my profile view. All right, and then I'm gonna select my projection style, which is gonna be the gas file. I'm gonna hit OK here. And then I'm just gonna be using the object elevation option there. And then I have a little different label style that I might apply to this, the gas file label style. I'll put on that, and I'll hit OK. And so there. So that's what that looked like. And doesn't look like I actually set the elevation correct on that, but watch what can happen here. I could take this grip here and I can move it up to where it's on that feature line. Now I'm going to get this dialog box here, and it's telling me that I just changed the elevation and profile. Do you want to change the actual object that's in plan view? Basically, it's what it's asking me. So I can say OK, and then there it is. So that is projecting objects into profile view. By the way, those labels are profile view labels. So you would find them underneath profile view and then label styles. And here they are, projection labels. So with that, I am finished with the presentation. Are there any questions?
I do have one question. What are multi-view blocks?
Multi-view blocks, they actually originated from AutoCAD Architectural, which is what Civil 3D was built on. And they're exactly what the name denotes. It's a block where multiple views are defined. So you would be defining a block the way it's supposed to look in plan view. Then you would, with a block, you would define the way it's supposed to look in the front view, the way it's supposed to look left, right, back. You define the way that you want, and they're 2D blocks that you're defining, but it's called multi-view because they're functional in different views. And so you would create blocks representing the different views, and then through the magic of, and see, they've kind of hidden it in Civil 3D, MV block, and then that's going to reveal all the multi-block commands. And then, you can execute the multi-block add command to insert your multi-block after you create it. But that's the way you do it. And the cool thing about multi-blocks is if you make a block of a multi-block, you can use it within a point style and a Koga point style. And then, when you flip your object in 3D, you can see the multi-view option of it depending, what view you're in. So, it's kind of good for visualization purposes.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much, Cindy. Just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Have our contact information on the screen. As always, feel free to go to our website to learn more about ZenTek. Feel free to call our 1-800 number. We'd be happy to speak with you and help you out with any problems you might have. Or you can always email me to contact me directly. And like I said, we're here to help. We offer consulting and training services. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.